Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Target 19 Part 2 homework review. So hopefully you've looked at the Part 2 notes videos. Hopefully you've tried a couple of the problems, and maybe you got stuck, maybe you didn't. All that's great, but here's a review on some problems that'll be important for Target 19. And so here we go. We're going to go through problem number 1, number 2, and number 4A. Remember, these are all on the Part 2 worksheet. And so really what we're going to work on is all the skills that we introduced during that Part 2 note packet. And so that's determining if things are minor, major, or semicircles, right? Minor arcs, major arcs, or semicircles. Working with central angles and the value of intercepted arcs. And then same deal in 4A, working with value of intercepted arcs, but using algebra to try to solve for x and stuff. So here we go. Let's just start with number 1. So we just need to follow the letters. And remember, minor arcs are less than 180 degrees, major arcs are greater than 180 degrees, and semicircles are equal to 180 degrees. And remember, 180 degrees is half the circle. And so visually, we kind of just want to follow these letters, see how much space they take up, and then we can label them as they are. So P to Q, right there. Definitely less than half the circle. That's a minor arc. Let's go TUQ. TUQ. So start at T and just follow the letters. T to U to Q. It's a little bit more than half the circle, so we'll call that a major arc. Next one, PQT. So P to Q to T. And so this one can be kind of tough. One thing we want to notice is that if we literally connect P to T straight to it, that's called a diameter, right? It's a line where its ends are on the edge of the circle and it goes straight through the center. Diameters cut our circle in half, and so P to Q to T is going to be 180 degrees, which makes it a semicircle. All right, let's keep going. SU, 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 so from S to U right there. Definitely less than half the circle, that's a minor. Just remember a real quick cheat to recognizing minor arcs. Minor arcs can be labeled with 2 letters, so every single one of these that has 2 letters have to be minor arcs, right? The others, major and semicircles, need 3, so we have to do a little bit more digging to figure that out. But again, just 2 letters, automatically a minor arc, and it's going to be less than half the circle. So let's go to TUP now. So from T to U to P. Again, that connects the endpoints of this diameter, cutting that into our circle in half, meaning this has to be a semicircle because half our circle equal 180. And then the last one, QPU. So from Q to P to U. Once again, that's going to be a semicircle. It's just a different diameter this time. QU is a diameter, endpoints on the edge of the circle going straight through the center. So again, it splits our circle into 2 180-degree sides, and so this is going to be a semicircle as well. Perfect. Hopefully we're getting better and better at that as we continue to practice it. Now, find the value of each measure. Remember in our note packet, one of the things I said to do first is let's mark all of our angles and all of the arcs they intercept as the same number. Because remember, central angle equals intercepted arc. They equal each other. And so if our angle here is 65 in the center, the arc from C to N, which is where that angle opens up to, has to also be 65. And so that's what we're going to start with. Can we fill out the entire circle? Angles and arcs. So this one's 55 over here, so A to M is 55. And remember, we talked about linear pairs and vertical angles quite a bit in the note packet. Across from this intersection, right, the intersection of these 2 diameters, are going to be angles that are equal to each other, and those are called vertical angles. So this has to be 55 degrees as well, which makes arc NB 55. And then the other piece of information we talked a lot about was linear pair. Remember, a linear pair are 2 angles that make one line. And so if we look at this line MN, the 55-degree angle and where E is, those are 2 separate angles. Together they combine to form this straight line of MN. And so straight lines always equal 180, so linear pairs equal 180. So this angle over here is whatever 180 minus 55 is, which is going to equal 125. 125. So the angle where E is kind of located, that's a 125-degree angle, which makes arc MB 125 as well, because central angles and the arcs they create are equal to each other. Last one, we have one more to figure out. And remember, I'm going to draw this line back in here. And this line can be created on the other side by three angles, the 55, the blank one, and the 65, right? And since it's a straight line, it still has to equal 180 in total. So it's just this time three angles combined together to make 180. So I want to subtract my 55 and 65 away, and it'll tell me what's left for this blank angle. So 180 minus 55 minus 65. And that equals 60. So I'll clear all this up now, and we will put 60 in here. And remember, AC should be 60 as well. Angles and central angles and arcs are the same. And so now we can go through this list, and no matter what they ask us, we just piece together the arcs by following the letters. And sometimes we add them together, sometimes maybe it's just that one arc. So let's see. AC, find A, go to C. We see that that is a 60-degree arc. The next one, MB, start at M, go to B. We see that is a 125-degree arc. Then BN, start at B, go to N, that's just 55 degrees. All right, now we might start having to piece things together a little bit more. So let's see what they ask us. CBM, start at C, go to B, go to M. C to B to M. C to B to M. That looks like it is a 65-degree section, a 55-degree section, and a 125-degree section. So let's add them all together. 125 plus 55 plus 65. And in total, that will equal 245 degrees. So perfect. That's an example of sometimes these arcs cover multiple like pizza slices. So add all those crusts together, and that'll give us the total measure. E is M to C, M to C. M to C is just a 55 and a 60-degree section. So add those two together, and we will get 115 degrees. And then the last one is arc MCB, MCB. And so from M to C to B is a whole bunch of sections. It's 55 and 60 and 65 and 55. In fact, it's every section except for the 125. So to get this one, I'm going to take the fact that the whole circle is 360, and we're counting every single section except for 125. So I'm going to take 360 and just minus the 125-degree section away, and that'll tell us what is left. And so when we do that, we get 235 degrees. Now, you could have definitely gotten that by doing 55 plus 60 plus 65 plus 55. Those four numbers added together will also give you 235. Just wanted to just display another route of ending up at the same spot, right? So last question, similar idea, but now we got to do some algebra. And so we need to find the value of x and then the measure of an arc, and that arc is BC. So to find x, obviously we're working with 2x minus 30 and x. One thing we're going to want to see here is that this line A to B is a diameter. Diameters cut circles in half. So the circle, the half of the circle where the x and the 2x minus 30 are all part of, that's 1/2 of our circle. So combined, everything needs to equal 1/8. And that's how we'll solve for x. So let's add those two chunks together, 2x minus 30 plus x, and once we add them together, they need to equal 180 in this diagram. Combine like terms, 2x and 1x is 3x, and then minus 30 equals 180. We'll add 30 to both sides right now, and so 3x equals 210. And then we'll divide by 3 to get x by itself, and we'll get that x equals 70. X equals 70. So we'll put that up there. And now we got to work on finding arc BC. So we need to know what arc BC is. And so let's clear this picture up a little bit. And you'll see that arc BC, we go from B and go follow the circle all the way to C. That is simply just the part of the circle that is 2x minus 30. And so if we're wondering what that equals, right, we want to find the measure of arc BC, we will figure out what it equals when we plug our x into the x in the 2x minus 30. So we will do 2, and instead of x, we'll put a 70 in there, since x is 70, and then minus 30. 2 times 70 is 140, and then 140 minus 30 is 110 degrees. So arc BC, 110 degrees. And again, we got that by solving for x and plugging it back in. So I hope this helped you find some clarity in the part 2 worksheet. If not, definitely send me an email, ask me some questions, and I'll help straighten everything out. But keep working hard. Let's move on to part 3 tomorrow, or I guess today. And thank you very much. Keep working hard.